Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Community Safety and Security series here on the Serenity Resource Connector. I am Winsome Sherry Witter, your host for this program. And it's always a pleasure to have you here. For the new subscribers who joined us, thank you so much, whether you're tuning in live or you're watching the replay. It is always a pleasure to have you here. Stay tuned for this discussion. It's the beginning of the new school year, and already we have so many things happening in the schools, and I know the police team have their hands full. And so we're going to be sharing some of the programs that are currently ongoing in schools across Jamaica, as well as a program there, G.R.A.P.E program in Clarendon. So you learn more about it, what it is that your local police is doing to support the schools to stem what we see happening. Already there are videos circulating about these incidents and accidents, and we are just seeking to shed some further light as to what is being done and how you can be a part of what the police is doing in our neck of the woods. So before we get into that though, we have a new chief in Clarendon, in the person of Acting Senior Superintendent of Police Carlos Russell, who took over the baton from SSP Miller. You would have seen, for those who joined the first episode in this series, you would have seen SSP Miller sharing on the different departments in the Clarendon Division. And now we have Acting Senior Superintendent of Police Carlos Russell, who has taken over the baton. And so please meet our new chief of the division, Carlos Russell. Please go ahead and speak to your Clarendonians.
Good evening, my fellow Clarendonians. I greet you in the name of the Lord.
Amen.
I am Carlos Russell. I'm the acting senior superintendent in charge of the Clarendon Division. Just a little bit about myself. I am from the parish of St. Anne. I am married with 3 daughters. I have served the parishes of St. Anne, St. Mary, Trelawney, St. James, Hanover, and Westmoreland. So I've basically served Era 1 and Era 2. This is my first time in Era 3, and I'm looking forward to this experience. I think it is an honor to serve this beautiful parish of Clarendon, and I know that I'm coming to a parish that has been doing well. SSP Miller, who is my good friend and my squad mate, has been doing well in the parish of Clarendon over the years. So I know that I'm stepping into a big boot, and some very big shoes to fill. But I am looking forward to working with the team here. We have a very good management team here in Clarendon, and I'm looking forward to working with them. I know that DSP Brown is online, and I want to commend him. He and his team, CSS team, has been doing some great work in the community, and their interventions are very useful. I also want to let you know that I am a community-oriented person. I believe in community engagement, and wherever I work, that is what I always push for the police to be more involved in the community, to go out more, to meet, greet, and to build that relationship with the citizen. Because without them, we cannot have no success. The parish of Clarendon has its problems, and I will be looking forward to you, the community members, the business persons, for the help to deal with the issues. You best know the issues that are affecting you. So when we have our meetings and our engagement, then we will have to look and discuss and see how best we can assist you to help in those issues. So I'm looking forward to the support from the various communities. Um, I'll be coming out to meet and meet you. Um, so I'll be coming out in the communities. I'll be attending the widely publicized meeting, the community meetings. I'll be there. So going forward, we'll get to meet you and you'll get to know and know me better. So thank you. I'm the line. Available for any questions or any suggestions. Thank you.
That's right. Welcome, Acting Senior Superintendent of Police Carlos Russell. Sheldon Gordon is welcoming you. It's great to have you. And the Willocks are in the virtual house. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. And you'll hear a bit more from Acting Senior Superintendent Russell later on in the program. But if you have questions, feel free to ask your questions and we will direct them to him at the appropriate time. So stay tuned now as we move into another segment. But before we do, let's take a look at what the police team in Chapelton were up to on the first day of school. Let's take a look. Awesome. And I don't know if any of you online recognize any of those institutions. I saw a couple of them. Clarendon College, I was actually the guest speaker at that setting there. And when I looked at the picture, I was like, wow, that there were so many people inside that room. Yes, Clarendon College, we have at the Chapelton All Age and a couple of other infant schools that were represented there. Well done, team. Clarendon Chapelton team was on the move. That's really awesome to see the police up and about, especially in these times. All right, so let's change gears as we move into the discussion on Safe Schools, the Safe Schools program. And we have with us to share on that Inspector Tanecia Johnson, National Safe Schools Coordinator. Thank you for making it to the virtual space, Inspector Johnson.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, let me pause to just welcome Sir Alfonso Lewis from over there in Longville Park, welcoming Acting Senior Superintendent Russell. We have Judith Forbes welcoming Acting Senior Superintendent Russell as well. Keep the welcome going. Happy to have you here joining us live. All right, so Inspector Johnson, Safe Schools Program. What is it and how did it get started? Why did it get started?
All right, thanks much. So the Safe Schools program started on May 8th, 2004. And at that time, we had an upsurge in terms of crime and violence in our schools. We also had the whole matter of champs going on. And so, as an example, in halfway tree, you'd find numerous students converging, they were fighting, what we'll just say, giving lots of trouble. And so, different entities came together. There were serious stabbing incidents going on at that time. And so, the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of National Security, and by extension, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and of course, the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information came together in terms of being collaborative effort. And so they sought at that time to put together a program. And so the Safe Schools program is one that looks at the holistic development in terms of attending to the needs of the students. We operate under a theme, and the theme is Safe Schools, Everybody's Business. And so for the Safe Schools program, you have school resource officers. Currently, we have 244 school resource officers. And in addition to that, we have school liaison officers. The school liaison officers are those officers who assist the school resource officers just in case they're on a vacation leave, they're tasked otherwise, because sometimes that does happen. And so you find that the liaison officers who are from different station district, different local stations, they're also equipped to deal with the children. So we operate under the theme, like I said before, um, Safe Schools, Everybody's Business. We have 154 schools on the Safe Schools program. Even though some schools are not officially registered on the program, the police still give attention to those schools. So now you'll find us even in the basic school, trying to ensure that we start from what we can term the grassroots level, to ensure that we not only wait until we enter into the high schools to help with truancy, and basically just to ensure that there's law and order inside the classrooms, right? And so at the basic school level, we have started our first police youth club in basic schools, actually, that was officially launched. And so that's the modus operandi of the Safe Schools program. We seek to interject and integrate and to really work with the school community to ensure that our students and our school administrators that they are safe.
Awesome. Right. And number of the viewers were fascinated to learn that the police youth club are actually now in the basic schools, because it makes sense. We need to start at that level so that you can mold them before they get to that other level, where it gets even more intricate in dealing with some of the challenges that are.
Most definitely, because somebody asked the other day, but what can they learn at the basic school level in terms of a police youth club? And I was very quick to say to them, they know our motto, which is we are helping to build a better Jamaica. So for us as the police, once they start to say that, it is reinforced right throughout. So if they learn the whole matter of moral ethics, even from this young age, and of course, talking about patriotism, then of course, it follows them right through life. We also talk to our children at the basic school level and in the high school about a concept that we call iPad for life. So we talk to them about their identity, their purpose, their attitude, their destiny, and of course, at the end of it, how to be respectful to each other.
All right, repeat that slowly. iPad.
All right, so the I is for identity, which
Mhm.
speaks to who am I? So when we enter the schools and you ask them, who are you? They're quick to give a name, but we go much further to say, we want you to look at it at a broader lens, to a different lens. So who are you? So for us, we'll say to them, if you know your identity, nobody can mislead you.
That's right.
If you know your purpose, so we'll ask a simple question like, what's your purpose in coming to school? What is your purpose living in your community? The A is for attitude. And of course, we talk about, having the right attitude to mold you and to guide you along a certain pathway in life. And the D is for destiny. A simple question again. Where do you want to be in life? And they'll give you all the good things. And we'll say to them, okay, so this is why you need to behave yourself and follow the school rules and the rules at home and the wider community.
I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Yes, we actually have the Year in Early Childhood Development series that's been going on since about February of this year, if not before. And we go all the way to December. So on third Thursdays, we have that discussion with the Early Childhood Commission, the parents, representing principals, the board chair, and of course the team from the Early Childhood Commission. So I'm sure they would love this aspect of it because it helps to strengthen what it is that they're doing there at the Early Childhood Commission. Kudos,
Definitely. Thank you.
JCF. I just love this. Right. And it would be, it's interesting to note that these young, as early as 2 years old, when you start asking them these questions, that's when they actually absorb a lot.
And
They
what
need
is
to,
great, what
yeah,
is actually great about it is that within 2 to 3 weeks, it is so embedded within them. So once you pull up at the school, they'll say to you, Miss, I remember my iPad for Life slogan. And we'll say, tell me about it. Or we'll
that's
say, you don't remember, in terms of trying to jog their memory. And they'll just say identity, purpose, attitude, destiny. And I'm to be respectful. So that goes a far way for them and even for us as adults.
amazing, amazing. Great, great stuff that you're doing there. Any other area that you're focusing on outside of iPad and
We also have the Safe Schools Mentorship Program that was launched in 2012. And this is where we assigned our school resource officers to be mentors, whether to a child, to a group of children, right? And so special programs are designed within the Safe Schools Mentorship Program. So, as an example, a first interaction, once we do our assessment, we might say, okay, I'm going to mentor this child for 6 months. And then 6 months sometimes turn into a year, 2 years, depending. And what that does is to create better conversations with the police officers and the students whilst at school and while in the wider community. So the Safe School Mentorship Program is one. We also have an anger management workshop that we conduct. And this is where we enter different schools, random schools, and we'll ask the authorities to just give us 2 consecutive days to interact with these children. We don't operate alone as a police, it's always about partnership. And so we will bring in different entities. We bring in D.R.A.P.E, we'll also bring in Rise Life Management Services, no matter of substance abuse. We also bring in our community members because there's also a musical aspect of the anger management workshop. Because through music, sometimes that is how they really express themselves. We also have a safe school store. For the safe school store, we enter a school and all we want is half of the day. And we bring in our stakeholders. So we work presently with a group called Men with a Message. They are reformed ex-convicts and they work directly with the Ministry of National Security. So it's a 3 hour program. We talk to the children. They give them different aspects of their prison life, some areas, of course, that is shared with them, why they shouldn't want to go behind bars. The final hour is where we have music. We allow our children to showcase their talents. Also, during the summer programs, we have what we call the iPad Summer Camp. So while we interact with the older children throughout the year, when it comes on to summer, everybody is under one roof, if I can put it that way. So the police, we take at least 300 students. Now, these are students who sometimes are on the verge of being expelled, and we take them on a 2 weeks residential camp. And we talk about this iPad for life. It is really musically inclined. So it's not sitting down in a classroom and they're all bored. It's activity based. It is sports filled. And so at the end of those 2 weeks, what you find happening is that we have them now like in a WhatsApp group. They can call us at any time of the night. They have access to their police officers. One phone call, one text message. They know that we're there for them. So that's another program. And the final program that I'll speak to is one called Parenting on the Corner. We are aware that we have some parents, for some strange reason, they're not too enthused to go to the PTA meetings. And so all we do is to bring the message from the school to the parents. So, as an example, when we get into the inner city area, where whatever they're doing, wherever they are congregating, we just ask nicely for a few minutes and we give them the message from the school. And we know those messages are normally the general messages. And we
That,
talk to them about that. So those are just some of the programs that we have rolling. We also have home visits, yes. And some people say, but you're all not social workers. Well, some of us are trained in that department. And so we help to find children who are not in school. That's a campaign that we're on presently, working with the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. And sometimes what you find happening is that we have to go above and beyond, because when
right.
you interact with one child, sometimes the findings are out of this world. And in turn, as the police, we have to get that home address. We have to go there. We have to sit down. We have to talk to the parents. And I'll say this before I pause. Sometimes you find that the child that we're mentoring, the children that we're mentoring, we turn around mentoring their parents as well.
Oh,
And
yes.
that makes perfect sense. Because if we're mentoring on one hand, and when they go back home, they go back to a different climate. So the message is not passed on, it is not continued, then it makes no sense. So it's one voice. And how do we get this one voice? We talk to the parents as well. So we can't cry and say, oh, they should know better. That's not for us to cast blame. Our job as the police at the Community Safety and Security Branch is to ensure that we assist in the holistic development of our children and their parents as well, and the school administrators.
It's interesting that you mentioned that because we have proof that that it works because the mentorship program that was funded by USA took place throughout the pandemic, and that was to strengthen the GRAPE program. You'll hear more about that later. And yes, so DSP Owen Brown and his team were integrally involved in that program, and there was a case study that was done afterwards by USAID because the parent and child that participated in both components of the program showed a greater level of transition at the end of the program because the child would have participated in the different sessions, and then
Yes.
for the parenting session that the CPFSA did, the child also sat in those sessions, and so they learned to communicate
Wow.
mother son, and it, that was a success
And,
story.
and that is really needed. And let me not take up the time, but I'm so enthused about safe schools. When I say safe school, my entire world lights up. We also have a Peace Day concert. So every year, Peace Day, we partner with PAS, of course, and different entities. And our own base, so to speak, is really Mandela Park. And we just showcase our children. And sometimes we have to head into what we call our back to school church service, where children they're gathered right across the island. We have services happening simultaneously. And all we do is offer prayer for them. Because the truth is, some of them
Yes.
they're not going to church. Whether it be Saturday or Sunday, that's not a part of their development, sad to say. And so there's no help as it relates to going to church. They could also be nurtured. So as a police, our plate is full, but we continue to do our best.
Indeed, we got to bring back the values and the morals because that's what's causing the challenge. Because if we didn't learn it at home, we would have learned it at church for those who grew up back in those days. All right. Thank you so much, Inspector Johnson. I've learned quite a bit, and I love iPad because it's not just for the little ones; it's for all of us. Because
For
if
all of us.
most of us as adults really knew about iPad growing up, we would have a much safer communities now. Because a big part of it is that we have no sense of purpose and we don't know our identity, and so our attitudes impacted, and hopelessness sets in. And so we're thankful that the team is actually looking into these programs, and that you're getting the support that you need. I love the joint up approach in terms of the interventions that are being done. All right, so stay tuned, don't go anywhere. We are going to bring you back for the wrap up as we move
Sure.
into the next aspect, the next part of the discussion. But before we get there, let's take a look at what went down this week. This is Yorktown Primary School. All right. And there in those pictures is Detective Woman Sergeant Morrine Willock-Gordon. Just in case you didn't make the connection, she was the lady in blue that was sharing with those little ones at Yorktown Primary. Welcome to the Serenity Resource Connector Space, Detective Woman Sergeant Willock-Gordon.
Thank you so much for the invite and greetings to Acting SSB Russell and all the persons on the platform. It's a pleasure being here this evening.
All right. Great. So we have a number of persons joining us. Michael Thomas, thank you so much for tuning in. Ava Tomlinson from over there in Longville Park, Sharifa Grant, Kimia and Khadijah Grant. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's great to have you all joining us. All right, so we're going to zone in on Clarendon now. Detective Woman Sergeant Willock-Gordon is a part of the team there in Clarendon, the Community Safety and Security Branch, and she has been doing a lot of legwork into the schools from earlier this week, right?
Yes, ma'am, that is so. School
Right,
is open and we are on the ground.
indeed. So tell us about, let's continue with the Safe Schools program. Tell us about your school resource officers, liaison officers. How many do we have in Clarendon now?
All right, so within Clarendon, we have 7 school resource officers. And the schools that we are focusing on at the moment, we have school resource officers in Foga at Foga High School, Garvey Masio, Central High, Cross Primary, and am I leaving one? We have also at Lennon High, but currently that person is on leave, and there should be one also at Bear Technical. What we are doing, even when there are no school resource officers, we have our daily checks at the various schools. So we'll visit the schools to ensure that everything is going well. So even when there are not school resource officers placed at the school, we do our checks and our visits to ensure our schools are very important to us. We have challenges not just with the students themselves, but we have challenges even from the arrival at school. Um, when the taxis let them off, you have persons stopping on the pedestrian crossing, we have traffic congestions and stuff like that. So we focus not just on the schools, but them getting to school, and it's all about their safety. Our school resource officers, on a daily basis, they are tasked to ensure that the children are safe. And for the children to be safe, we need to know our children. So our school resource officers are familiar with the teachers and the students, and this is done through communication. So we have group sessions that are done with the students within the schools. If it is that there's a particular group that is given any challenge, then group sessions are done, individual sessions, and we work closely with our dean of disciplines and our guidance counselors. Our parents are crucial to this, all right, in helping to control the conflicts and the anger that we are seeing in our schools. In 2011, um, the late SSP Henry and former Sergeant Mulgrave came up with a program, and the acronym is GRAPE, meaning Gang Reduction and Prevention Education Program. What that does is that initially it was meant for boys, because the problems that they were faced with at the time was mainly with the boys. Now we are having different issues where every gender, both genders has to be taken in consideration. So it has now incorporated the girls. So any student that we are having challenges with can be referred to this program. All right, so what is it that we do? Initially, there were teachers on board that will do after class sessions, but when COVID came in, we had to do some tweaking of the program. And based on those initiatives, we are now doing mentorship sessions. What is a mentorship session? All right, so a school might be having an issue with a group of students. So the community safety and security branch goes into the school and we have individual sessions. Now, for the first meeting, we'll talk to the students, find out where they are, what is happening with them. And by talking to them, interacting with the school environment, then we'll tailor a program for that particular group. Now, each week we structure a school and have a session. Sometimes it's half an hour or not more than 45 minutes. And we'll have various activities. I remember one week we went to Yorktown and we had a drill. So the boys formed groups and they lined up one behind the other and we did drills, left, right, and they enjoyed it. Now, one will ask, what does that have to do with the child's behavior? Sometimes we just need to get our children's attention for them to know that we are here for them. We want them to learn the discipline of just standing straight, following instructions without saying, follow my instruction. Do something that they might find joy in doing without even saying, follow my instructions. There are certain nuances in our environment that our children learn that we have to teach them. And we have to come up with programs in order to get them the help that they need. So the G.R.A.P.E program is one such, and the mentorship goes on until we see some form of behavior change. We listen to the teachers and whatever they're saying that is happening, we will work with the students alongside the teachers. So help is coming right at their door. I remember one session we had tears because the boys were opening up. So we have to be prepared. We have to prepare to hear them. And once we hear them, we have to prepare to do something about what is happening with them. Or there's also another aspect of our G.R.A.P.E program in that whenever students are placed on suspension, they they are sent to the Community Safety and Security Office, and we do sessions, counseling sessions with them. These counseling sessions are tailored to impact behavioral change. Now we do behavioral change exercises. Ask us how we do this. It's on an individual basis. Each child that comes to us has a different need. One, Eric Erickson speaks to us about the developmental stages, and each child develops differently. For example, if it's a 12-year-old, that child will be at the stage of identity versus role confusion. So we are listening to this child, seeing what is happening to this child, and tailor program. Also, we take into consideration what the school said the infraction was. So we'll work through with the child what led to this behavior. How how can we move forward? What could he or she have done differently? We find where we have even given the children tasks to write. And based on what they wrote, you have an appreciation and an understanding of what they are doing. I remember one, I think she was 8 years old. She had issues stating what was happening, and we got crayons and she drew and then she explained what she meant. So we have to listen, we have to pay attention to what the children are saying. So instead of having a child at home on suspension, they might be online, they're unoccupied, they can come to community safety and security and they are engaged. They are engaged so much so that when they get back into the school system, we ought to see some amount of change. This take a collaborative effort. So it's not just community safety and security. If in any case we see where a child needs more, we can refer to the Victim Services Division or CPFSA, and there are others that we can refer to because we are all stakeholders and we work together. Our this initiative is for our students to be safe and for them to grow in such a way that when they leave school, they are fitting for work. Whether if they want to go to college, they're ready and geared to go. All right. Earlier, Miss Johnson spoke about the counseling sessions and sessions with parents. No, the family is a unit. And within that unit, you have the parental subsystem, the sibling subsystem, parent to child subsystem, and each system has to work. Now, if it is that the child or any students say to us that this is what is happening in the home, then whatever information we get, we have to work with it. If it means to get the parents to come and have a sit down session, whatever it is, we will do it in order to get these systems to work. Because at the end of the day, if one system is off, then what we'll have children coming to school and they'll be acting out what is happening at home. If they are hurt, they will be acting from a point of pain. Back to you at the moment, Miss Whittle, for any question or any other update.
I could listen to you for the rest of the program. Yes, it's really great what you're sharing in terms of the engagement, because I can attest to the fact that it's not a one size fit all, and I think that's where we have been going wrong in the past, where we just do try to fit these square pegs into the round holes. So you just design a program with not with these individuals in mind. Is when you actually sit and engage them that you get to understand where the challenge is coming from. And for a number of them, it's just the attention. One told me, Miss, it's a bunch of us, from, I think it's very technical. Teachers can't bother with us because they just call us problem child. All they need is attention for someone. They say they don't have time because there's so many of them at home. The parents don't have time to listen to them. They don't listen to them. And even if they do hear them, they don't understand them. And so that's why they act out. So it's great that you're actually engaging them individually and designing programs to suit the individual um, situation. Because what we found is that a number of them who were leaving high school, no, they would not fit into the GRAPE program because GRAPE program is for those in schools. There were a number of other programs going on, but it's for those who are in schools. What happened to those who are leaving school? And so as you go along, you have to customize the program so you can address the different needs. And so Heart came into the picture to assist some of them in terms of making that transition. So it's great that we understand and appreciate the need for collaboration and the different systems working together. All right. Detective Woman Sergeant Willock-Gordon, you have a lot of Willocks in the comments here. You'd have to go through and thank them for their support. All right, let me take this one. Sophia Simpson. You're doing wonderful, Mrs. Willock-Gordon. Your beautiful personality will work wonders with the students. They are blessed to have you. All right. Thank you so much. Anne Marie. Thanks for joining. Anne Marie Golding McLegan, as always. We need to spread the word far and wide. So many need this kind of intervention. All right. And that is where each of you come on who are connected with us here, whether you're joining us live or you're going to be watching the replay, share the information. The videos are still there on YouTube. We've been talking about the different programs that the JCF has introduced at different areas of the community. We spoke about the business community last month in terms of the Business Watch, the Jamaica Eye. Before that, we talked about the community groups, the youth clubs, as well as the neighborhood watch. And we are going to be going into a number of others. So continue to share the information. The very first episode, you learned about the different departments and where you need to go to access whatever support from the police. And now you're hearing it's not the police alone doing it all on their own, but they're actually engaging the different entities. That is how the resource connector come into play, because it's about identifying the different resources that the different entities offer to steer you in the right direction so that you can also share with others who are in need of support and don't know where to find it or how to go about it. All right. So the mentorship program, you're sharing that you've had some successes there. Share with the viewers one of those success stories.
All right. It is my pleasure to share this because last year we had some boys, about 15 boys in at Yorktown Primary. We were having some challenges with them, and Miss Swaby, the principal, asked for some intervention. When we got there, boys will be boys. So they put up some challenge. Nothing beats consistency. So each week we will go back to them and we'll sit under the tree and we just have some conversations. And I know when I was a child, I love bag juice. So I said, what you want? And I said, bag juice. And we go to the talk shop and we get some bag juice. And we had conversation. Earlier I mentioned that we marched and did drills and we told them the importance of the drill, how to stand, how to dress, how to carry themselves. We spoke about what they love, and I learned that they loved football. And yes, they're going to say they love girls too, so you have to tailor that and tell them what is appropriate from what is not appropriate. After a couple of weeks, I realized that we were getting hugs, and I looked forward to the hugs. And I know they look forward to the hugs too. I remember one week we couldn't make it. And we called it in that we couldn't make it. And I remember the following week when we got there, when the vehicle came through the gate, the boys were right at the spot. They came from their class, they were excited and gearing to go. Um, After we did periodic checks as to their behavior, and we got a good report. So much so that all the boys who participated in the G.R.A.P.E mentorship program were fit for graduation. So at their graduation ceremony, they were awarded with certificates from the Clarendon Division that they have participated in the G.R.A.P.E program successfully. I was overwhelmed because I know the challenge that they had, and it wasn't just giving them a certificate, it's just knowing where they were coming from and at the point where they were. Today, I went back to the school and I was saying to the teacher that I need to know the schools that they're at. I need to follow through because they need us. And I think I need them too.
Uh, I tell you, talk about purpose. This is indeed your purpose for being here. And as you were sharing about consistency, I remember I saw Lorraine Mason mention that this is certainly a good initiative. Consistency with this program will yield results. Indeed. All right. And Diane Roach Henry, thank you, Detective Sergeant Gordon. Our client and children, thank you. Keep up the great work to you and your cause. No man is an island. It takes teamwork to make the dream work, right? So it's just amazing. I love the story, and I love the fact that you want to follow up with them because they do need that. Because I remember when the mentorship program was coming to a close about this time last year, and some of, especially the young men, they were asking what is it that they're going to do after the program ended. And I still have a number of the parents who reach out to me because I was a coordinator for that program. They still reach out to find out what's going on. They see something shared about a hard program and they reach out to find out how they can access. So it's really great to be able to offer support to even one. And each of us, if each of us can reach one, this world would be a better place. Thank you so much for sharing. Anything else on the GRAPE program that you need to make mention of? Go ahead.
It is the commander's intent that all our schools be exposed to the GRAPE program. We really want our schools to have an opportunity to experience what the other schools are experiencing. So we invite the Dean of Disciplines and the guidance counselors to reach out to us. Once you're having situations, don't wait until it gets bad. Call us in. We'll work together because teamwork made the dream work. And I remember a great man said once that there is more that is right with Jamaica than that which is wrong. So if we use that which is right all the time and be consistent, then our children will know that which is right. I know DSP Brown is online and he has us on our toes. So we need to be in all the schools. May God bless you all.
All right. Well said. And that's not the wrap up. She said it so so well. If you have questions for Acting Senior Superintendent Carlos Russell, he's still with us. We also have Inspector Tanecia Johnson with us, the National Safe School Coordinator. So if you have any question for them, feel free to ask in the comments and we'll take your questions. If there are no questions, we are going to give our guests the chance to share with you. Thank you so much, Mrs. Mason. Thanks for the commendations. Yes, this is part of my purpose. Yes. So if there are any questions, please go ahead and ask, right? Because teamwork makes the dream work. All right, great. So while we are thinking about your questions, if you have any, you'll meet Acting Senior Superintendent Carlos Russell in your neck of the woods because I'm sure you'll be visiting some of those police youth club, some of those neighborhood watch meetings that's coming up and all of that. So you can look out for him there. But the floor is open for you to ask your question. Final thoughts from you, Inspector Tanecia Johnson? You're muted.
Thank you. Just to say to the persons on this platform and those who will be watching later, we should all ensure that we play our part in the lives of our children. It doesn't make sense we sit back and we cast the blame and we say, oh, it's this entity that should be doing this. We all should get on board. Presently, what we're looking at now, we talk about our children in our normal school situation. Presently at CSSB headquarters, we have shift focus a little bit. We're paying some more attention now to our children who are in the juvenile facilities. So children, wards of the state, children who they have committed crime, they have served their time, and they're about to get back on the road, back into the community, back into the regular school system. And so we have been entering these correctional facilities with specific programs geared towards the whole matter of rehabilitation. So that's one area that we are looking into now deeply. We have started the groundwork since last week, and we intend to carry this wide out. We also have our children were in the children's home. They have schools inside there too. And so no longer are we just focusing on the normal schools, quote unquote, but we're venturing now to those who are basically behind the walls, those who are not a part of the larger society. So I encourage everybody to get on board. Listen to your children, talk to them, give them a hug, throughout our program during the summer, you'll find the children just running onto the police officers, hugging us. You never imagine, yes, hugging us, embracing us, saying, "Sir, ma'am, I respect you," simply because we give them the level of respect that they should be getting. And my final word, ladies and gentlemen, is to say to you all, remember that our children, they have rights and yes, they have responsibilities. But as the adults, we are the ones who should be there for them, to encourage them, to show them love, to protect them, to guide them. And please, parents, when our children say to you, "Mommy, daddy, auntie, uncle, this is happening to me," don't shun them, don't run them away. Listen to them. Because just 1 minute out of your busy schedule can save the life of not only your child, but another child. So please listen to them, talk to them about their identity, talk to them about their purpose, their attitude, their destination, and please teach them to be respectful. And let me just say thank you to our new commander in chief. And I know DSP Brown is on this platform, and of course, Detective Woman Sergeant Willock-Gordon, always willing to work, always collaborating, always keeping me on my toes. Great ideas, and it's not often that sometimes we get to say these things publicly, but I really appreciate the efforts from the Commander in Chief, Acting SSP Russell, and his team. Thank you so much for our internal partnership. And you have my full support, Clarendon.
Amazing. It's wonderful. I know you said that was your final thoughts, but Edward Williams is asking what are the present plans or the immediate plans for the Safe School program? Anything new coming up?
All right, most definitely. So we want to increase our numbers in terms of SROs. The thought process is to have at least, realistically speaking now, to have at least 2 school resource officers assigned to our schools. So we want them to work throughout the entire day. Just as how the teachers go on their shift and they get off, that is the plan. And so we have sent to all divisions in Jamaica, right? And Clarendon is a part of that. We have gotten their list to say that we want to train our police officers. So not just one, we want to increase it from 7 as an example to probably 20 so that our children can be dealt with. Also, immediate plan is to ensure that our security guards, our watchmen, who some of them, they're acting as security officers and they're not, but they're still playing their role and we appreciate it. We want to ensure that they are properly trained in crime prevention. How is it that they can make themselves hard targets? That's another area of focus. And another area is about our vendor sensitization. We want to ensure that we work with our vendors so that we can have order. We do understand that some of them, this is their livelihood, this is what they do. Truth be told, some of them, they have nowhere going. But from the Safe Schools Department, how is it we can help them to streamline things a little bit better? I give you a quick example. There's a school in Kingston. We have gone, we have formalized our vendors. They are now all wearing branded shirts. And this is in collaboration with the school. And of course, we have to get the blessing from the schools. We can't just go in and dictate. We don't do that as a police. Community safety and security branch is about partnership. We listen to our citizens, they listen to us, and at the end of the day, we have success. So now we have a vendor who is our president, right? And they represent the other vendors at a PTA meeting. We don't want our vendors keeping weapons for our children. So those are some of the immediate plans that we have right about now. The whole vendor sensitization and regularizing of our vendors. We also want to start a campaign as it relates to the whole matter of substance abuse. We want to continue, but we want to be felt some more. And so we always tend to better what we do. We talk about Molly, we talk about vaping going on in the schools. We want our children to understand the dangers that lies within. And so those are just a few of the areas that we're really focusing on now. And of course, to launch more police youth clubs in our basic schools and our primary schools. We have over 54 police youth clubs in primary schools. We want to increase that number. And of course, Clarendon will be getting some more once we work on the logistics with the acting SSP and his team.
Well said, well said, well said. Lorraine Mason, cannot overemphasize how encouraged I am for such a great program. Can this kind of initiative be extended to communities? All right, that's something to ponder. Stay tuned, Mrs. Mason. You'll get a response. Let's allow acting SSP Russell and his team to mulch on that one and see what can be done. Probably get some additional insight when you meet with the business watch group to see what it is that they have in mind and how best they can work together to get that done. All right. Detective Woman Sergeant Morrine Willock-Gordon, final thoughts.
I am grateful for this platform. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share and for the persons that are on the platform and for you to take the message that the police, we are here. We are here to make Jamaica the place to live, to raise our families, and to do business. Crime is all of us business. And as simple as it looks, our Safe School program is tackling crime. If we can help our younger generation, then we'll have a future. For all the parents on the platform, you are responsible for your child and any other child you come in contact with. A lot of our children are hurting, and I heard Miss Johnson said it. Once a child says to you that they have been hurt, listen. The saying goes that hurting people hurt people. I don't want the police, we don't want our children to act because they are hurt. We can together make a difference. The Jamaica Constabulary Force, Clarendon Division, we are here and we are calling all our stakeholders together to partner with us as we move forward. As I said before, there is more that is right with Jamaica than that which is wrong.
Well said, well said. And now over to you, acting SSP Carlos Russell. Final thoughts.
Good evening again. I first just want to thank you for giving us this opportunity. You know, a lot of persons do not understand and know the amount of work that the police do, especially in our schools and in our communities. And we are glad for this opportunity to showcase some of what we are doing to assist um, in the communities and in the schools. The children are our future, and we have to ensure that they are safe while they are at school, going to school, and are coming from school. And we, the Clarendon Police, will continue with these initiatives to ensure the safety of our children, as also the safety of all citizens in Clarendon. Crime reduction is our objective, and I just want to say that, look, I know that a lot of you have spent millions on your property in Clarendon, and we cannot allow criminals to let us run away from our homes. I don't know about you, but I know that the little money that I spend to build my property, I cannot allow anybody to let me run away from it. But if we stand aside and allow these criminals to continue and we do nothing, then they will succeed. We have to join hands with your police to fight crime in this parish and in Jamaica on a whole. It just takes some simple things. And the neighborhood watch, just be a part of your neighborhood watch, form a neighborhood watch in your community. Encouraging your children to join police youth clubs. These things do help. When community are organized against criminals, those communities are the ones that strive and are not infiltrated by criminals. So we have to organize ourselves against them. So I'm just asking the Clarendon community, the business community, the people of Clarendon to join us, support us. We're asking for the support to fight this monster of crime. And I believe, the Clarendon police believe, that we can deal with it, but we just need your support. And I'm asking for your support because I know that we all want Clarendon to be that place, to see that 2030 vision, that the place where persons want to be, the place where we want to raise our kids and families. That's what we want Clarendon to be. So I thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to seeing you, to be out there with you. And you will see me more in the coming weeks in the communities, at your community meetings, and at your widely publicized meetings, and also at the schools. So thank you very much for having me. I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Acting Senior Superintendent Carlos Russell, Detective Woman Sergeant Morrine Willock-Gordon, and Inspector Tanecia Johnson. It was a pleasure sharing virtual space with you. Thank you all for accepting the invitation to share, because I believe that we need to start from a place of understanding, because the more people understand, it's the more improved their attitudes will be, because they're acting from a place of understanding and not ignorance. So let us help to change the thinking of our people by sharing this information with them. All right. Before we go, Sheldon Gordon, looking forward to working with you and your team, sir. All right. We already have support coming in. Go Team Clarendon. Well done. Well done. Thank you all for joining us. For those who are able to join us live, and for those who are watching the replay, thank you for joining. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so, and don't remember to share so that others can get the information that you've been getting. All right. Continue to stay safe. We do this every week, 8 p.m. Thursday, 8 p.m. You see the schedule coming up. Next week is another opportunity for you to hear what the Early Childhood Commission is up to. For Thursday, we connect with the Clarendon Municipal Corporation again, so we can hear what's going on in the Roads and Works Department. And we're looking forward to engaging our youth leaders in Clarendon on 5th Thursday. So you want to stay tuned for that and share the information. Continue to join us. All right. God bless you all. Have a great night.